5 cards on Delver is so rough. The card like that deck doesn't have card advantage. In fact, I don't think there's a single card advantage engine in all of Delver.
And Grixis?
In Grixis, not a single one.
We should be playing Baleful Strix again, but
Yeah, there is no card advantage on the side of I guess you have Daze your own land back and then Brainstorm, which is very cope. But I guess that's all you've got.
uh,
Volcanic Island go.
that's not a good sign. Not where you want to be if you're a Dominic fan. Really, I think we wanted a one drop
We
here.
really wanted a Darcy. When Darcy gets Delirious, man, she's bringing the heat.
Uh,
Japanese foil FNM promo Wasteland.
I didn't know those
He
existed.
he got them personally altered.
Oh, this makes more sense.
He
Yeah.
he literally got those altered.
Okay, I'm back to being nice to death and taxes. That's all it took.
The Japanese foil promo Wasteland.
That's cool.
It's hot. It's so hot. All right, what are we doing now? The Wasteland start though in general isn't exactly what you want to see out of D&T. I feel like you kind of want to start with that Ether Vial or like a Mother of Runes or something. Prismatic Vista, fetch.
Hmm.
Basic Plains.
It's a pretty basic blade.
It is a pretty Plains. Surprised he didn't go for Sunflowers, but I guess you can't get those in foil, right?
No.
You know, he gifted me the Thunder Plains, foil Thunder Plains. Beautiful thing. Ether Vial. There it is.
Makes sense. You just want to play around days.
Play around the days.
Your opponent hasn't done anything. Just
Upkeep, Wasteland, your Volcanic Island. Sure. Tap for blue or red. Orcish Bowman.
just trying to get a clock in play.
Yep.
Notably, this is white, black, deaths and taxes, so we definitely have access to
Obelisk the Tormentor is the token of choice.
You think he knows someone, then you realize they're Yu-Gi-Oh.
Look, in my youth, okay? In my youth. Look, I know the Egyptian god cards because there are no bad cards in my grandfather's deck. Dude, Yu-Gi-Oh was like goated back in the day. Anyway, Arid Mesa. Ether Vial is on 1, pass the turn. Volcanic Island.
Found our land.
Found our red source. Come in for 2. Take it. 18. 17. We did fetch.
Yeah, I think our life totals are flipped on the screen, but I don't know if the producers are listening, but
Yeah, the life totals are indeed flipped. Chat, keep that in mind. The life totals are flipped. The names are correct. The name and death, the name and deck names are correct. Delver has secrets, unless there's another flip card from Innistrad that Delver is playing these days.
ooh, what is that art?
That is the secret layer one, the cutie one. Literally, that's what it's called. The cutes to cutes or something. I don't know. Anyway, lightning bolt your Mother of Runes.
Okay, we have presence here.
Is that Mother or Giver of Runes? I just forget the legacy one.
Mother?
Legacy is Mother. Okay.
Giver is a 1/2, so it doesn't die to Bowmaster. I guess that's
True, but also can't protect itself.
which is much worse.
Yeah.
It feels odd that Bowmaster was let out or not Bowmaster. Mother of Runes was let out the door that way.
Yeah.
It feels like a mistake, but it seems really obvious once you play with it.
Yeah. The Mother is a crazy card. It's
Yeah.
just like if you untap with it, it just makes everything so awkward. Anyway, Terminus. Draw for turn. Ether Vial is on to play Scrubland.
Bowmaster? Ooh, Thalia.
Thalia, Guardian of Thraben.
Cast a Bowmaster?
Cast
Nice.
Orcish Bowmaster.
It's very good here.
It's very good here.
Does it can't have any
Wow.
counter magic?
And now the board is locked in Roland's favor with this Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, notably having a first strike. So,
I think we need to find a Murktide and try and write it into victory. Otherwise, it's gonna be pretty dicey.
another Bowmaster would also be good.
I think the problem is that Bowmasters doesn't really punish your opponent; it just kills something.
It would just kill the Thalia, which would open up the gates for like actually being able to play the game. But yeah, Murktide Regent would be pretty nasty here. I don't know if Roland is holding a Swords of Plowshares or a Solitude. Um, but either one of those would also be pretty backbreaking into a Murktide Regent. Pass the turn with Obelisk the Tormentor untapped.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Roland has a bunch of answers to Murktide,
Yeah,
so there's a certain point where you kind of just have to put it on the board and hope it's good enough.
let's see. Orcish Bowmaster. Thalia swings in. 2-1 first strike. Really hard to trade favorably into this. Double blocking would get both things killed. Single blocking would just get one thing killed. No lightning bolt or Orcish Bowmaster to kill the Thalia. Thalia will come in for a clean 2 damage. What's coming up next? Lion Sash. Pretty brutal to see on the Delver side. All of a sudden, your graveyard, which is quite valuable, is now quite gone. Eating this lightning bolt, I most likely imagine, will be the first order of business. Just getting an instant or sorcery out of the yard for a potential Murktide Regent. Granted, there are only 3 cards total with only 2 mana, so even fetch land. So I guess fetch land Brainstorm would actually let you cast a fetch land cantrip would let you cast a Murktide next
But
turn, if not for the Lion Sesh. I'm so
there's a
I guess Roland knows that.
with the Thalia in play, it makes it pretty hard to cast a bunch of cantrips here.
You're right. It is very hard to cast a bunch of cantrips with the Thalia Garden if they're even in the battlefield. In roll spot, I'd rather have my opponent have 3 on Bowmaster than a single Murktide. Ponder, brilliant choice of Ponder, by the way.
It's like the third best ponder.
Whoa, that's such a hot take.
Well, there's a
You can't count your number one because they don't exist anymore.
what?
They don't. You can't get it.
I have one.
Yeah, but just because you have one doesn't mean that that's a viable option. We have to talk about accessible cards. This one is accessible.
This is the second best.
Oh my god.
The
The
Black is Magic
Black is Magic
Ponder
one
to
is
cast.
it's nice, but it warps so badly.
You just gotta get a humidor and take care of your foils.
Like I'm a
Well, you gotta look like a
TSR,
douchebag a little bit.
I'm a TSR retro foil enthusiast. I need to get one more time shifted foil ponder to finish the collection. Anyway, Volcanic Island with Obelisk the Tormentor is still untapped at 1/1 power. 1/1 stat line.
I think that's a really good point by Akalith that if you can untap with more than one mana, you basically have an Alliance Ash that can't die to Bowmaster. So you just grow it in response.
Delver of Secrets comes down.
Ooh.
I'm confused. What happened to the Bowmaster?
He's flickering it with the
Oh, there's a
Flicker Wisp.
Flicker Wisp. I didn't see the Flicker Wisp.
Yeah,
Flicker Wisp might be the best card in D&D. The card is
Evran.
insane.
Evran is the best card in
There's no
D&D.
shot, dude. Flicker Wisp terrifies me.
Evran is messed up.
Anyway, ping your Delver. Buff up my Orc army. Flicker Wisp also notably 3-1. That is a decent stat line. For a clock, not bad.
You think it's better than Tarmogoyf?
I don't think anything's better than Tarmogoyf. It's a 2-mana 8/9 with no drawbacks. Swing for a lot. God, Ether Vial, Flash, and Flicker Wisp. Bring the Bowmaster back, ping your guy, swing for a lot. Pretty brutal line.
Yeah, we're gonna not have anything for this Murktide that we're hoping to draw.
What happens when you Flicker Wisp and Murktide? It
Yeah,
dies to Flicker Wisp in combat.
it does. Flicker Wisp is surprisingly good against Murktide.
Exile 3 things. Swing in for a lot.
I think with how this game has gone, two more cards in Dominic's hand would not have really changed very much.
Not much. Well, if Dominic had the DRC start and was able to rip through the deck and potentially like daze the Thalia or something while having a clock, it does change the texture of the game quite a bit.
Yeah,
Because I don't know, like Roland did a pretty good job of playing around the daze to the point where now the daze is pretty irrelevant, especially the Ether Vial, like able to basically cast everything you need it to. Oh, and the scoop comes in from Delver, makes sense to me. So it's really important to not let the Sash start if you can ever help. Yeah. Sash has got to be so insane. Just turn off Darcy, turn off Murktide.
yeah. I like the mental boost of being like, it didn't matter that I mulliganed, I had no shot.
Yeah. The, I mean, like, all right, what does Grixis Delver bring in? Notably, there is no Massacre on the board, which is definitely like the big anti D&T card.
I don't know who had been on Massacre for a
I
while.
hate losing to D&T. If D&T is ever popular, I will run 3 Massacre in my sideboard in any deck that can run it. Or what's the all white creatures get -1/-1 Dread of Night?
Dread of Night, yeah.
Dread of Night is also pretty brutal.
Yeah. Looks like Dominic has a counterbalance, 2 Force of Negations, a Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Hydroblast, 2 Meltdown, 2 Price of Progress, 3 Pyroblast, 2 Surgical Extraction. This does not look like you have a lot.
No.
I may just bring in the 2 pops.
And on the would you bring in pops? I
I
guess
don't think it's great.
you have 4 Caracas, 4 Scrubland, 2 Shadowy Backstreet.
I think I'm full in on trying to scam the win, and Flame Rift is probably playable.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
I don't know.
Yeah, on Roland's side, we have Containment Priest, Fairy Macabre, Kataki, 4 Land of the Void, Lorna of the Third Path, Path to Exile, Peacekeeper, Plague Engineer, Rip in Peace, the Battle of Bywater X2. Battle of Bywater only target is quite literally Murktide region, which is a kind of a heater of a card.
I think it's more than that. I think it's 3. Additional powers is 3
Oh,
or
I thought it was 4 or greater.
no, 3 is a good stat line against
Oh, I thought
Delver.
it was 4 or greater. It's 3 or
No,
greater?
yeah, it's 3.
Oh, it does kill everything. Huh. Okay. Battle of Bywater is pretty good then. Um, Path to Exile is also a heater in the no basics deck. Exile target creature, no drawbacks is pretty good against Delver. So I imagine we're going to see the Path to Exile. And I'd be very curious to see what art Path to Exile Roland chooses.
That's a good point.
There's a lot of really nice ones. I like
Especially
the
because
full art, like stained glass one. I think that one's sick. For our radio, his existence vision has always been unplayable. Fun. Oh, really? I guess that actually makes sense. 3 was a massive change. Yeah, yeah. For some reason, I thought it was 4 because in my head, it's just used to kill rhinos.
Ooh, okay. Dominic has a good start here.
Volcanic Island, Delver of Secrets, go.
We did not have the mole, so we got 7. So we got a game plan.
Prismatic Vista.
We're not. I don't know if we haven't seen stifles, so
We haven't seen a stifle out of the Delver yet, but we also didn't see that many cards out of Delver in general.
Ooh.
Lightning Bolt off the top. Flip my
Okay.
Delver. I now have an Insectile Aberration. Polluted Delta. Come in for 3.
These are the starts where you can actually win games against death attacks. So
The blind flip Delver is the hallmark of a good Delver player. I'm not sure if you're aware. But if you're good at Delver, you always blind flip.
with my Eternal Weekend top 8 with Delver, I blind flipped a lot. So I
Good Delver player. Ponder. Fetch in response to your fetch. Are we going to see a stifle? And if so, which art?
I think we're gonna see a stifle on, I guess, conspiracy.
Conspiracy? I'm hoping for Scourge.
I can't think of another reason to fetch.
I can't think of another reason to fetch either. I think we're deciding which art stifle we're going to use. Original Scourge. Beautiful.
You were right.
I do love Stifle. It's a beautiful card.
Yeah, I was thinking about trying to pick up some bling ones.
I only have one bling one. I have to finish the set. Caracas. Eternal Masters Caracas, mind you.
Well, the Legends isn't coming foil.
That's true. FNM promo altered Japanese Swords to Plowshares.
It's altered Japanese.
He told me, yes. Those don't come in Japanese. Another one I'm trying to finish my place out of. Beautiful. But also the no days is interesting here. I thought for sure we'd see that Swords Days. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Are we delirious? No. We have instant sorcery land.
Yeah.
Ether Vial. Is it Aether or Ether?
I think they're both acceptable.
Okay. Good to know.
I would not make fun of you. Oh, we are delirious.
We are now delirious upon the cracking of the bauble.
Oh, look at that beauty of a fetch land. Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
Onslaught foil.
Onslaught foil flooded strand.
Pretty sure Japanese.
Jesus Christ. Molten Collapse, targeting Ether Vial, trigger Surveil 1. Leave on top.
Roland's down to 13. So
Roland is down to 13. Pretty good start from Delver. Seeing the Dragon's Rage Channeler, Delirious, killing Ether Vial. Roland's on 1 mana. Or 2 mana.
Yeah, we know we have the Lightning Bolt in hand from the Delver flip as well.
Yeah. So we're at an effective, what? The life totals, I believe, are flipped
12,
again.
9, 6.
We're effective
12, 9.
Effective 9 with the Lightning Bolt in hand, although the Lightning Bolt might not actually go face, as Death, Taxes, and White Wings does have frequent creatures that need to be killed, such as that one.
Okay.
Force of Will.
I like this because if they have a third land and a
or formal wear, you can just get it back. Yeah. Force of Will pitching, not sure what yet. Figuring that out. Wait, what did we pitch? I'm confused.
Uh, I didn't get a good look at it, but I think a ponder.
Oh, okay. I didn't see anything being pitched. Anyway, brainstorm trigger surveil one. I also did we surveil one on the previous anyway. Brainstorm surveil one. Leave on top. I see an Orcish Bowmaster. I did not see the rest.
Kept the fetch land. Which is interesting because usually 2 lands is a good place to be. Maybe
Fetch Misty.
he really wants to be able to get a fetch off here. Incoming Murktide?
Incoming Murktide Regent. Do you think you'll get the secret layer Murktides?
Me?
Yeah.
Do you know how much they're?
I have no idea.
I don't want to know.
Okay.
Probably eventually, if they're not the really rare ones.
Looks like we got 5 instant sorceries, Stifle, Brainstorm, Ponder, Molten Collapse, Force Will, and I did not see the last one, but Murktide is an 8/8. Scoop it up. Game 3, Death and Taxes will be on the play. We haven't seen a Yorion come down yet.
Nope, the games either were too far in Roland's favor or it just never even came close to
It's
it.
got on the yeah, getting rid of that Ether Vial was so backbreaking. Who saw Roland was missing land drops, probably really banked on that Ether Vial.
Well, he had the stifled his fetch land
Yeah.
into that, yeah.
Ponder, Roland fetch in response, fetch in response to your fetch, stifle your fetch land. Beautiful feeling. Nope. See what's gonna happen here. Death and Taxes, like in general, being on the play against the Day's Wasteland decks is generally a pretty good, spot to be in. Albeit, it's not exactly like it doesn't mean so much because Delver can play around it. Delver can board out the dazes, and I imagine we will see some number of dazes boarded out. But in general, this is definitely good for the Death and Taxes deck.
Yeah, it's a little awkward on the play. Obviously, Days is so good.
Yeah,
On the draw, it's a little bit weaker, but you also just don't have that much to bring it.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, Delver really doesn't have much to bring in outside of like the thing with Death and Taxes, especially on the Delver side, is the sideboard cards you'd bring in are hyper specific to Death and Taxes. And in a deck that's just not as popular as it was, it just doesn't make sense to dedicate very specific cards. And I can't really imagine anything that's really good against D&T that's also really good against the other top dogs in the meta right now.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty different.
Yeah, like obviously single target removal, sure. Um, but the thing with like single target removal is, it's not that great. D&T is a deck that is built to beat single target removal frequently.
Yeah. Historically, Torpor Orb has been a fun
Torpor Orb, yep.
yeah, but it's not super good against the field right now, I don't think.
It's pretty good against goblins, against initiative. It's really good when you're playing Stifle Knot for the Stifle Knot player. Yeah.
The Stifle Knot player took a large offense to that comment, but it's okay.
Yep.
Bolts. Bolt
Lightning
the
bolt.
mom.
Better than plowing your mom.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hear that.
Yep.
No other one drop here.
Underground Sea.
There's always that moment you're like, if I wasteland them, are they gonna play another land?
Yeah.
And then it's like, ah,
If they go land go and you have wasteland in hand, how often do you wasteland? Infrequently, right? You usually want to wait to see if the wasteland will do much. Force of Will, your Lion Slash, pitching Brainstorm. Sure, I'll him to Turok you.
If you're on the play, I'm much more into it than on the draw.
Underground Sea, Brainstorm. Forcing Alliance Dash as well. It really depends on the hand from Delver. If they have no way of killing it, it might have to be like a necessary evil. But we don't have access to the hands to see. But yeah, that's generally like if your Alliance Dash is getting forcible, you're usually pretty happy about that as DNT, I imagine.
Yeah,
Like this early on.
seems pretty clear
Especially because
that
you can pre-war formal wear it back.
Dominic doesn't have a lot of removal and Dobo Masters and probably a Murktide.
Yeah. So we're saying the do we have? We do, right?
We
No,
have
we have four.
four.
We have four.
Oh, no, it's
We have
five.
five.
One of them was hiding down there. Oh,
Oh, that is not. Oh, you already used 1 mana to brainstorm,
oh,
but we
yes.
were checking to see if we're delirious. Planes. Tap all three. Pre-war formal wear. Oh,
Uh,
cycle.
it's crazy how much worse a 1/1 is versus a DRC. It's just basically.
What about a 1/1 versus a 12/12 trample?
I feel like when Skyclave came out, it didn't
Another
read that well.
DRC. Yeah.
But you're just like, oh, I don't care if they have one. It's
So
just meaningless.
we do see though this the follow-up DRC. I don't believe we're delirious because did we did bobble, right? Land instant sorcery. No, did we sorcery? I don't think we pondered yet, have we?
Molten Glops?
Mullen, have we Mullen
Wait, do we?
collapse? No, that was last game.
I swear I saw one.
I know Land, Brainstorm, Force of Will are in there. I don't know because I know we played the Natty Underground
Bolt.
Sea. Bolt.
Bolt of Mom, yeah.
Don't know if we've seen Sorcery. Recruiter of the Guard. What shall we recruit?
Flicker was? Can you get.
Can we get Primor Follower? No, no, it's not
No,
effect. Yeah,
no.
yeah,
You
yeah.
could get Lion's Ash because of the fact that it's a creature, but
Light Sash is dead. That's why I thought for some reason it was Stoneforge Mystic, but it's not. It is creature. But we will get Stoneforge Mystic to get what I imagine will be pre-war formal wear. To what I imagine you get this Lion Sash.
we have two pre-war former wears, and they're not legendary, right? So we have a second.
Yeah, you can have multiple formal wears.
You have a second
Two outfits.
Stoneforge in the graveyard because they got forced. So you can like
Oh,
pre-war formal wear, bring back the
the
Stoneforge for
value
another one.
engine, man. The value
Yeah.
engine. All right, let's see what happens here. I imagine the Stoneforge is going to get the pre-war, and the pre-war will get the Lion Sash. It's a cute little Ruby Goldberg machine.
Murktide?
Murktide Regent. Oh no,
Oh,
Moon Collapse. That is not Murktide Regent. Trigger DRC Surveil 1. But what did we announce as our targets?
probably destroy this Skyclave. The 1/1 is probably not what this game is about. Also, I think he'd prefer the hat in the graveyard over the
And
recruit.
now we are for sure delirious. Come in for 3. Let's see. So right now, it looks like a pretty good spot on the Delver side. You have the DRC, you are delirious, you have a 1/1. We do know that Roland does have Stoneforge in hand, ready to go. The thing is, we are a little mana constricted at this point. Not hitting our land drops is pretty brutal, but neither has Delver. It's like what, turn 6 at this point? And both players don't have more than 3 mana. Stoneforge Mystic. See if we get the pre-war formula.
Oh, look.
There it is.
Dominic, pretty expressive about it. I think he knew it was coming.
Although this being in Japanese, is that in Japanese? Look, no, it's not. It's English. I'm just so
And we're
used
getting
to
Oracle text.
we're getting Oracle text. Let us also read you the Oracle text for the non-D&T players. One pre-war formal wear enters the battlefield. Return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield and attach pre-war formal wear to it. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has vigilance. Equip 3 for the low cost of 2 generic and 1 white mana. 3 CMC total.
That is in fact the foil bug. I think all the foils may give it away.
That is in fact that is indeed the foil bug. Bro is literally going to get pre-war formal wear. All right.
And plow the Darcy.
And plow the Darcy. This game has flipped on its head quite quickly. And that is the thing about death, taxes, and white weenies. You know, it was Toast that told me the story of how that name came to be.
What me?
That the name comes from. There are only 3 guarantees. Well, obviously, you know the quote is by Ben Franklin, right? There are only 2 guarantees of death and taxes. And then the joke was apparently that there are only 3 guarantees in Legacy: death, taxes, and death by white weenies. And that's why it's called death and taxes. Apparently. Anyway, Molten Collapse or Stoneforge Mystic. That is both Molten Collapses.
Does not look at it. I think was that a force negation?
We did not get a chance to see. Plains. Fourth land. That's what we would say is pretty poggers.
Formal wear, get back, Stoneforge, formal wear.
God, that's so disgusting. Pre-war formal wear, play around days. Force
That is
of
a force
negation.
negation.
Pitching Delver of Secrets.
That's such a call.
That is, yeah.
Did he bring those in from the sideboard or are they in the main?
That is an interesting card to bring in, to be honest with you. They are in the sideboard. He brought in Force Negation from the sideboard.
Yeah, I'm really curious what his sideboard configuration looks like.
Yeah, I'm curious too, actually, because that is not something I would have expected to bring in into Death and Taxes.
It looked
But
good there.
yeah, I mean, that was
And
probably
like
the literal best situation for Force Negation.
oh,
Oh, Murktide Regent for 5 counters, most
definitely
likely. One,
all the
two,
way.
3, 4, and we're at 4
Whoa.
counters. 7/7. 4 mana, 2 mana, 7/7.
If the totals are correct, it looks like Roland's at 16. So this 7/7 is interesting.
Interesting is a good word to put here.
It
What is in
is,
Roland's hand though? There's got to like his deck is so good at recurring that I have to imagine there's something that he can do about this.
yeah, this Urianus potentially put in hand, play it next turn, flicker the recruiter, get solitude,
Yeah.
but that uses your mana really poorly. Yeah, I wonder if Dominic cut the daisies and then just has the force negation in for file and
He,
equipment.
yeah, I have to imagine it has to be for that. I mean, it is one way to stop it. You're still 2 for wanting yourself.
Oh, I already have the solid.
Oh, we do have Sally. Sally's coming.
I think we're hoping that that last card in hand is not a second Murktide.
Judging by the way he casted that, it's either a second Murktide or a Dragon's Rage Channeler, right? Because he could have went all in on it and he chose not to. And if Roland's at 16, 2 hits is a lot less than 3 hits. Underground Sea tapped for a Ponder. Orcish Bowmaster, Wasteland, Underground Sea. Ship all of that.
Uh,
You have to shuffle. right? I can't imagine you keep this. Like,
Unless he has a Murktide and he needs the land and he needed to cast a Bonder to be able to cast it.
you really do
We
want to
kept it.
kill it. Yeah, you do want to kill this Recruiter of the Guard in response to a Yorion coming down, right?
Yorion's in exile. We had to pitch it to Solitude.
Oh, is that what we pitched Solitude?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. Caracas, Recruiter of the Guard. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it's pretty
And
terrifying
we
with these
also have an Ether
vials.
Vial on too. You know what that means? Stony M is coming.
What do you think it's gonna get?
Pure formal wear.
Mhm.
That's such a tongue twister to say, dude.
It is, and I don't know
Pre-war
why.
formal wear. It's because there's so many like of the same syllables and like sounds, phonetics. Is that the word?
Formal.
Pre-war
Where
formal wear. Pre-war formal, yeah.
does the M and the W make a similar sound? Like
Pre-war formal wear. Kind of. In like an odd way though. In like a less like tangible way. Pre-war formal wear. I can't say it. I'm gonna be thinking about that all day now. Okay. Double recruiter of the guard. It's usually not great to see from the opponent's perspective, but it is what it is. Also, great watch choice from Mr. Chang himself.
what is it?
The I believe that is the Pepsi bezel GMT. I think. I think that's the Pepsi GMT.
It's a Pepsi? Like
The bezel is that of the Pepsi colors. That's why it's called the Pepsi bezel GMT. It's like what it's colloquially known as.
oh.
Yeah, I think it's the Pepsi bezel GMT, but I'm not sure. Um,
Brazen Borrower, no cards in hand, bounce it. I think we have a Wasteland on top and likely
a
a
Bowmaster.
Master in hand.
Pass the turn. This board is starting to turn into Death by White Weenies, as is the namesake of the deck.
The Zorkish Bowmasters.
He's not a white
Originally.
weenie. Come in for a lot. And by a lot, I mean four. Maybe not four. I guess we'll see. Come in with the team. The Bowmaster in response will take out one, like three of these cards. So I imagine we're going to see the Bowmaster dead and the two recruiters dead. Oh, we took the damage. Why didn't the Bowmaster get flushed? I'm confused.
Hmm.
We pinged in, brought in the Bowmaster to do another point of two damage. Another point. Another 2 points of damage. Flicker Wisp.
No, this is
Orcish Bowmaster targeting a recruiter of the guard. That's what we were waiting for. I see now. And Obelisk the Tormentor is back. Ether Vial is back. Pass the turn. No cards in hand. Well, there's a Stoneforge
I
in
think it's
hand.
Stoneforge, and I think Dominic's empty-handed drawing a Wasteland.
Death and Taxes just out of nowhere. You like think the game is going fine, and then you just at one turn late, like then a turn or so, like if later in the game you just look at the board, you're just like, this is danger. I'm in danger.
Yeah.
And you just get that meme of that guy in the fire, the I'm in danger meme. Like you just think you're fine. Then you one day, 1 second, you just look at the board and you're just like, I'm in danger.
Yeah, and
Best
especially
top decks in the world. Yeah.
until you don't have Brainstorm or Ponder.
Um, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points of damage on board because Recruiter is a 1/1, right? I actually know with the powers. I know it's one toughness. Yeah, it's a 1/1. Okay.
Yep. 2/2. Yeah, these two Orcish Bowmaster means top decks for Dominic are pretty constricted.
Yeah. Hmm. How do you think, as the Delver player, someone who actually played Delver in a serious manner, how do you think there's any coming back from this state?
I think coming back from this state involves your opponent drawing a bunch of lands.
And or
So
conceding.
just because we know it's a wasteland in here,
Yeah.
he he basically is winning on board and in hand because he's just waiting for that stone forge. I think you need to.
Orcish Bowman. Kill your Flicker Wisp.
I think you really need a Murktide.
You really need a Murktide. Brazen Borrower comes in 3 damage in the air. Don't think there's much Roland can do about that, but we're also pretty healthy on the death and taxes side, so it's not super concerning. The clock is there, but it's not super there yet. We do have a Stoneforge in hand from the previous recruiter of the guard, so we do have an out here. I don't believe we're on Batterskull, and a quick cursory glance shows that we are indeed not. We do, however, have an Umezawa's Jite, which can make quick work of these 1 toughness creatures, albeit I do believe we'll still go for a pre-war formal wear on the resolution of the Stoneforge, just due to the fact that the value engine will be so good.
Yeah, the fact that stone forges are in the graveyard basically makes it free.
Yeah. The only thing we do have to be cognizant of is a spooky Murktide coming down and getting a real clock on the board. Because right now, this Brazen Bar is a bit of a problem, but it's not so much of a problem that it needs to be addressed immediately. But a Murktide is a problem that would need to be addressed immediately. Wisp in the graveyard, yeah, for sure. Like, get pre-war Farmaware, attach it to Flicker Wisp, bounce Recruiter of the Guard, get whatever the heck you want.
Ah,
Probably another Bowmaster.
eh,
When you said that the Bowmaster mirrors were just about Bowmastering your Bowmaster, I think this is a good example, and it's not even a blue mirror. Swords of
yeah.
Plowshares, you're a Brazen Borrower. Gain 3.
This is game three.
Gain 3.
Oh, game three.
Gain 3.
I thought
Gain
you
3.
like over send it to the next one.
I'm probably getting a sol. Yeah, I could see a Solitude also being good just to have that. I personally, honestly, probably would not have swords the Brazen Borrower and just taken Bowmaster and killed it manually.
Are we missing something? Does Roland not have a stone forge in hand?
I can't. He didn't pitch it, right? I feel like he's had a Stoneforge in because he got it off the Recruiter of the Guard, right? Am I missing something? Because I feel like we would have seen it by now. Because
Yeah, that's
we
where
keep
now I'm like,
waffling on it
let's
unless
move
we just
past.
don't have it. Huh. You ask good questions, Samantha. I don't know. I feel like we would have guessed it by now. Is Rolling I was always on the 90s MTG stream? Yeah. At least I think he is. I don't watch too much.
Yeah, I'm sure it's highly
Rip in
likely because he's in New
peace.
York.
We will be ripping in peace. And with that goes the Murktide dream.
Pre-war formal wear, not very good. Clearly bad card.
I think this does solidify we don't have a Stoneforge Mystic. Because I feel like we would have seen it by now.
Maybe he's just holding it to see what he needs to get.
Yeah, I'm confused. Did he recruit right? Yeah, I'm almost positive he recruited for one. But now I feel like I'm going crazy because I feel like we would have cast it like 17 turns ago.
He does have one card in hand.
Dragon's Rage Channeler.
Forever a 1/1.
Forever a 1/1. It does give you card selection though.
Roland probably has all the prettiest cards on every stream, so
An interesting spot. Obviously, D&T is insanely ahead on board.
you haven't played much Vintage Cube, have you?
No, I have not.
So there's a new blue white or equipment that it's one blue white allows you to exile a card when it enters the battlefield, but you
Okay.
can make things into a copy of it.
What's
But
that?
from OTJ, I think Commander.
Hmm.
Uh, it's in Vintage Cube as far as I
Yeah.
know it, but it feels like if we could fit it and Death and Taxes, it'd probably be pretty good. I know people have
Honestly,
talked about it. Yeah.
assimilation Aegis.
I guess it's just at a point where it's like there's too many good equipments, and you're at the point where you don't really need any more.
Yeah. Like no more batter skull is wild.
Yeah. GTA is just holding on by a thread,
Oh,
I think.
GTA's just holding them. I feel like batter skull. I don't know. Batter skull is such like a when batter skull got printed and Cobblade just became batter skull mirrors. I'll always think batter skull would be the best equipment they ever made. And then power creep happened. Anyway, Obelisk the Tormentor is now dead. The Egyptian gods in shambles. It's going to take a lot more than Raw to bring him back. And by that, I mean another Bowmasters. Delver of Secrets. Daddy D is here. And frequently, the win condition of this deck when a rest in peace is on the battlefield. Solitude coming in 3 lifelink, two counters on the Orc Army token, making it a 2/2, thus trading favorably into everything on Delver's board.
Yeah. It feels like this game is gonna take a while to get
I
there,
believe
but
Obelisk the Tormentor may be making his return momentarily. Obelisk is back. Ping your Solitude. Block your Solitude. Gain 3 on Death and Taxes side.
like my computer.
Oh, it did? We're having quick technical difficulty on Samantha's side. His... No, that wasn't charging. Interesting. I thought it was.
Keep going.
The All right, we will fix those technical difficulties in a second. Here, you can just share the mic.
I don't know. I'll have to speak up. But...
The So we do have a flip Delver now, which is a pretty strong win condition. Although gaining 3 life from the Solitude and having an overwhelming board state from the Death and Taxes side will, I think, be pretty troublesome for Delver. So we'll see what happens here. The third orchestra. I guess it's the fourth. Nah, third. Anyway, Delver is back. Unflipped, however. The insectile aberration has disappeared and the human is back, albeit at the dismay of our Delver player.
I think they may be asking about time left and around here.
I believe we are probably close to the round timer.
Yeah, I think the way Roland doesn't win here is they go to time. And
Yeah. How much time is left in the round? I think we have it somewhere, right?
Oh, it looks like we are in time.
We are actually in time.
But we don't know how much if they gave extra time to the feature match.
I believe they usually give 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
That's like the de facto standard. So we should be going to turns here momentarily. And as soon as we see a dice on the table, we can assume that we are in turns. Yeah, having to pitch the Yorion to Solitude really killed our late game ability to close this out. And now we're in like this weird, like locked board state where it's just a bunch of 1/1s. Swords your Delver, you gain 3. I imagine we're going to see the turn timer here in a second. Just come in for 4.
It's interesting here. The Orcish Oh, Masters and the Recruitive Guard are all so important because he gives you good flicker with top decks and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's hard to know what to attack with how much time you have.
I almost wonder if the rest in peace hurt us more than nah, that can't be the case because we don't know what Delver is drawing. So Bauble, Surveil one, pitch the polluted delta, see the top of your deck, Ether Vial on top. There
Hey!
it is. Where has this been the whole game? I thought we were going crazy
I feel like getting Cauldron here and getting the
in
flop.
just trying to win the game.
Oh no. Do we have removal?
Stifle the ETB trigger.
Oh, is he still paying for Thalia, by the way? Am I confused by that?
There's no Thalia on the board, is there?
No.
It was triple block.
Ooh, and I think he may just have been tapping wrong. I'm not sure. But,
Wait, where's the Thalia?
I think he was potentially just paying for it, even though it wasn't there, because he played one for the bobble and two for the stifle. I think they were just playing fast and it got missed. But yeah, it's like Dominic packs it up, overwhelming advantage from Roland and